Hey, what's going on, guys? Uchain Joku, Sneaker Principal. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how YouTube has made a huge difference in my life, especially my professional life. So let me start from the beginning. When I first started doing YouTube, it was all about trying to figure out this platform that was such a curiosity to me. Like, you make a video, you post it, people watch it. And I started thinking to myself, as someone who majored in film and media studies, YouTube is like a television network that is democratizing media. Anyone can just jump on here and create. And I found myself spending a lot of time watching a lot of content, good ones, bad ones. But I think what caught my attention was just the ability to take a camera and create content. And you can make whatever you wanted to make it. You could just do a talking head video, or you can make like amazing, like borderline short cinematic films. So I started playing with it. I started making content. I think I had like a T3i Rebel camera. I was playing with that with the video features on there. Then all of a sudden, the phones got better, iPhones. I started playing with that as well. And I just got deeper and deeper into it. Never fully in completely, but enough that I was playing on the, pool side. Pandemic happened, and I spent time where I went, I would say almost full in. I would say almost, only because it only lasted for a short period of time, but I was making a lot of content, sneakers, financial literacy. I'm a Gemini, so I was playing with everything I could think of. Anything that sparked my interest, I jumped in there. And probably was a bad thing, because back then people would say, if you're not clear on what your intention is and what your niche is, you confuse the audience and people don't want to stay around. So I kind of fell into that category. But I kept on making content. Then there'll be times where I would not make anything. Then there'll be times that I would make. And eventually I started to lean more and more towards my profession, making content here and there about education, making content here and there about being a school leader. And at the same time, all the videos I was getting like maybe 10, 20, 30, on a good day, 100 views. My financial literacy and some of my sneaker videos did pretty well, but most of the stuff that I did around my core profession, it was I guess it was kind of niche. Unless you cared about school leadership or being a teacher, why would you watch these videos? But I kept on making them. But let me tell you how this space changed my life. At some point in time, a friend of mine told me to consider calling myself the sneaker principal, because I am such a sneakerhead. So, all right, so I went with that. So all my social media tags became the sneaker principal. During the pandemic, I decided to start a podcast called the Sneaker Principal Podcast, which is kind of defunct, but it's still in existence because I still create content around that realm. But it's a whole nother story. But let me tell you what happened. As I started making that content, in the beginning, I was kind of nervous, because there's this thing about being a teacher or being an educator or being a school leader, that you don't do things like that. You stay laced up in your suit and your dress shoes, and you're just principal, or you're just a teacher, but you're not someone who's actually engaging in social media and creating all kinds of different content. And that fear prevented me from really moving forward. But however, I hate to be afraid, so from time to time I would buck the system and would create content and post it out there, and then I would do this. I hope I don't get in trouble. But some of my videos, people, even though they didn't get a lot of views, people would message me and say, "Thank you, I need to hear that. Thank you, that really helped me. Thank you, I have a question." Everything from how I became a principal to how I handle certain things, or even people who called and said, "Hey, can we talk? I'm in this situation at my school or in my profession. I need some advice." And I would jump on calls with people. I'll have conversations with people. Some of those conversations motivated other videos. So now, fast forward from the pandemic to now, from 2019-20 to now 2024, I walk into spaces and people say, "Hey, what's up, sneaker principal?" I think in the beginning people were doing that to kind of like poke fun. It was kind of in jest. But now it's kind of become my, not just a moniker, it's become part of my identity. But not just an identity based on being the person who creates content about education, but the person who talks about his life and tries to make sure that being human is normalized, not just being your profession. So yes, I've talked about sneakers, I've talked about financial literacy, I've talked about my financial journey, I've talked about my marriage, my separation, I've talked about being a father, my kids. And the thing is, even though a lot of times I cringe and I ask myself, I hope I'm not doing something to be detrimental to me and my family, but however, I've had people continue to tell me, thank you. I needed to hear that. I needed to see that video. Even to the point where I've met people who've said, hey, I'm a principal in this other state, and I've showed some of your videos to my staff. I'm like, what? But not only that, I've actually had the previous chancellor of New York City schools on my podcast before he was chancellor and after he was chancellor, talking about leadership, talking about motivating the next generation of educators. So yes, my channel is not one that's specific. It's kind of all over the place, but it's not all over the place because the one thing that's constant in every single video that I do is me. I'm there. I'm the one talking. I'm the one sharing. And if you don't like what I have to say, you can swipe left, click right, turn your phone off or your laptop off or your TV off, or you can watch. And I think I have audiences that are so diversified because I'll tell you right now, I'm not chasing over 1 million followers and making $1 million on YouTube. If that were to happen, amazing. But what I'm doing is documenting who I am in this space, because I know at minimum, my kids, hopefully, barring the end of civilization and YouTube completely being defunct, my kids can log on and say, Sneaker Principal, and see their father and say, whoa, this is who he was. I think that's something that's very, very important. But at the same time, if somehow lightning strikes and all of a sudden I have 1 million followers, amazing. Why would I not want that? But in the interim, I have to say, YouTube has had incredible impact on me, and I would say in this way, what YouTube has done for me has been to give me social credibility and professional credibility, because no one's ever come to me and said, oh my God, what you said was X, Y, Z, and you're the most horrible person in the world. If anything, people have complimented and engaged me in conversations about my content. I think that's amazing. So with that being said, Uche and Joku, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever you do in your platform, on this platform, and help me get to 1 million followers. All right, y'all. Be well.